Hey, and welcome to our 6th episode of the Unnamed Gaming Podcast. I am Nettle. I'm back!
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! Back. There's all of us. We're all here.
We're all, even Craig's here.
You and Craig is here. Hi, Craig.
Hi, Craig.
I was like, who the hell is Craig? Don't worry about it.
I am Nettle, general idiot, gamer, streamer, cosplayer, blah, 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 blah. Bendy, introduce yourself.
I'm Bendy. I am Admiral Idiot, cosplayer, gamer, person. Question mark? You don't know. Tempest, who are you?
Well, I can confirm person, but I am also gamer, streamer, tabletop RPG, board gamer in general, and a martial idiot.
Idiot. Yes, we'd like to welcome all of the unnamed army in for this episode. For that is now what you are all called, the Unnamed Army. Congratulations.
Welcome back.
I hope you're happy.
You have been enlisted whether you like it or not.
We need you, whether you like it or not.
I am pointing my finger as if anyone can see me.
Yes. I mean, to be fair, you say that. When Nettle said she's back, I did fist pump in celebration. So, you know.
Aww.
I did a little dance, like little shoulders.
People can't see these things, but they're there.
Yes.
One day.
They can't
One day
see
we
them
will.
yet.
Yeah.
You might get a live video podcast one day, but that's many, many moons.
Well, I've finally tidied this room, which will probably never happen.
Never happen. I was going to say,
No.
that's your cosplay room. It ain't happening.
No.
People only come for your face anyway, Bendy, so I won't worry.
No one. Ooh, thank you. I've got a red.
Sorry, I'm on the charm offensive this evening.
Charming all of us.
That's it.
Boy,
Yeah.
working.
Oh, good. Still got it.
Yeah.
Woohoo! So, guys, tell me, what have you been playing this week? Enlighten me.
I can go first if you like. I will
Yeah, go
take
for
the
it.
lead. This week, I've been playing my usual offline drivel. As usual, I will not name names. You don't need to know that. You already know that. But for the first time ever, I did play Devour this week.
Oh.
So that was a game. It was good. I did quite enjoy it. But it's very much, if you've played something like Lunch Lady or Pacify, it's pretty much that vein where there's an evil entity. You need to go around, collect so many tokens, destroy them to vanquish said entity. And there are jump scares, as there usually are. But again, as with Pacify, once that first jump scare got me initially, and it did get me quite good, that was it. I didn't really get, like, the fear had gone kind of thing. I was in I want to say like manager mode, if you know what I mean. I was basically telling everyone like, this is what we do. We need to do this. Let's do this. Get this done. I get like that very much in games.
Yes.
As Nettle can probably attest from Surgeon Simulator at the weekend. But yeah, it's like that. Once the initial scare is done, I'm done. But it is quite like really up close in your face. But they are quite good. You can turn off the jump scares if you're not.
Hey.
Yeah, there is an option to turn off the jump scares.
Interesting. I find that interesting in a game that's meant to be horror. You know?
The thing
That
is,
does seem very strange, but then again, it makes it more accessible, doesn't it? So if people don't really like to be jump scared, but they still like an eerie atmosphere,
I guess
they could still play it.
yeah, I mean, I think it's more a case of maybe you very much do like that style of game and you do want to play it, but I mean, there might be people out there with like weak hearts and things like that, and jump scares probably just are not a good idea. So, but like, there's 3 maps available. We played the first one. We almost completed it first try, but we just got killed. Like basically we were all cultists, and our cult leader had gone quiet and disappeared. So we all went to find her. She'd been overtaken by the goat demon Azazel.
Ooh.
And
Actual
we had
demon.
and we had to burn 10 demonic goats. So there was that, which was quite funny.
Goats.
Yeah, there were goats with like flaming red eyes and stuff, and you had to catch them by putting hay down, pick them up, then put them in a bowl out the back and set them on fire.
Is that not how you exercise demons? Like in real life? Come on, guys, do your research.
Okay.
Wait,
But
you've not been. Wait,
Exercise,
never mind. No, let's just move on from that. Never mind.
But we did it second try, and it was like, we're coming for your souls and blah blah blah. I was like, yeah, whatever, dude. We vanquished you once, whatever. And then the second one we did was the asylum. And one of
these games in asylums, Jesus.
I don't know.
They're the scariest places ever.
I mean, it was quite a cozy asylum. It actually looked more like a library, but but like the basement was very asylum-y. But then as soon as you went into the upper house, it felt more like Arkham Asylum, like an old house converted. But one of the playable characters from the first level had become the like demonic deranged person in this one.
Oh.
And this time you had to find 10 rats and electrocute them because science.
Because electroshock.
Yeah. Well, she'd been going through electroshock treatment. This is why she'd gone a bit crazy, but it was it
do be like that.
Yeah, but it was I had the ump by the end of it. Like literally the last half hour I was just fuming because every time, because like if she catches you, they'll drag you somewhere random in the house and you'll be like downed, so you can crawl about on your hands and knees, and someone has to res you with a med kit. And literally every time I was rezzed, she'd come around the corner and get me again, and I was getting the right ump because I just couldn't do anything for like the last half hour of the game. But like, yeah, I mean, it's all part and parcel of the game, I suppose. But I think the only reason we actually completed it first time is because Howling, one of the guys we played with, he glitched out.
Oh.
He was downed, but he never actually got downed. So she's running around capturing all of us, and she's just ignoring him. So the game still thought
what
he
a
was
great
down.
glitch.
Yeah. So that's the only reason we won that. But I think because she was on a tear. But yeah, no, it was good fun. It was in that same kind of like Pacify vein. I mean, I'd probably play that again. I'd play Pacify again. Lunch Lady, which was quite like it, except it's set in a school and there is like only one level or whatever. I don't think unless they did like an update or something for it, I don't think I'd play that again.
You go to a slightly different school kitchen.
I don't know. I mean, she could be a lunch lady in a prison, I guess, but who knows?
I have a very important question, Tempest.
Go for it.
How many times did Hall get killed?
Quite a few. Maybe 7-ish or whatever in the second one. I mean, I had the most deaths in the second one, like 14.
Oh, really? Jesus.
Yeah, because as soon as she started, because like at first they're just walking around like all slow and gangly. They're not doing anything until you start sacrificing like the rats or the goats or stuff. And you start doing that, they'll start hunting and they get faster and faster. Like so, their hunt cycles will just increase quicker and quicker. And like we was at 9 out of 10, and she was pretty much just in a constant hunt state. So it's like every time I got res, she was just there, downing me, and I was just like, "Oh, piss off!"
She really wants
you, mate. I was cursing her name by the end of it. Curse you, Molly.
Yeah, curse you.
You, Molly.
So yes, that's what I played this week.
Interesting. Indy.
Well, to be honest, I've not really played anything more than more Back for Blood and Animal Crossing. I tell you what, Back for Blood, like, is good. I really enjoy it. And you were talking about life-saving glitches. Oh boy, did I have one yesterday. There was a hag that I had startled, and she got stuck in a car. I was like, yeah, run away. I'm out. Actually survived rather than being munched on by a hag. Good times, good times. Well, I did actually. I lie. I did start something new, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to carry on playing it. I started playing What Remains of Edith Finch,
Ah,
which I hear is very, very good.
Beautiful.
I have done it. I have played through it.
It's not the story at all.
Is it the motion?
The motion and the perspective.
Yeah, I thought that might
I
be.
did that the first bit where you're the cat, and then you're the thing and all of that. And then I got back into the house and then like moved to another place, and it was so bright and like it looks when you don't have 3D glasses on before you put the 3D glasses on. Like how that looks. That's how it looks to me. And I might be able to do like maybe an hour at a time and do like one room at a time. It's going to take me a while to finish it because I just heard great things about it.
Yeah.
And I really want to know this story and what's happened because people have told me it's really, really good and
it is. It's a fantastic game
and very powerful. And I really want to be able to do it, but damn these eyes and brain of mine.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, I was just saying it's probably because I had a migraine last week as well, and that always affects my sight. So
yeah,
I will try and give it another go.
I would seriously suggest playing with it, even if it is just to like for half an hour or an hour or something. It isn't the longest game in the world, I will tell you that. So it won't take you, even if you do it in stints, it won't take you that long to finish.
Yeah, I did it in one sitting over an afternoon. So
yeah, I mean, I did it in a stream over an afternoon. So
I've heard such good things, and I'm just gutted that it has just that slight little bit of buzz that my brain can't deal with. But as I said, I did play it for like an hour, half an hour to an hour. But I think I could just every now and then just drop in. And also, I don't want to get too sad, so maybe just little drops in here and there.
Comment.
But what have you been up to?
So I have a couple of games because obviously having the EGX special and then not being here last week, I haven't really spoken about what I've been playing at home. One game, very small, because I've only just started playing it, is Cooking Simulator, because we all know how much I love my simulator games.
You love your Sims.
So this I've got on the Switch. So basically my Switch basically lives downstairs in my living room most of the time. So it's a game that I'm playing kind of if I'm waiting for dinner to cook or something, ironically. And its movement on the Switch is not great. I have a feeling it would be better on mouse and keyboard. But it's a very fun little cooking simulator game. You're basically a chef in a restaurant and you have to get these meals ready. You have to like put timers on and get the right amount of ingredients, and it's all like picking and stuff. And then you have to serve it, and then you get paid, but then you also get customer complaints if you haven't quite done something right. So
kind of like Overcooked.
But it's not the cartoony aesthetic to it. It's like, real life. But yeah, it's fun, frustrating and quite stupid at the best of times, because you can literally, I found that I missed a complete massive ingredient out of this one dish and I still got like 4 stars. And I'm like, you guys are stupid out there. But if you're going to pay for this meal, I'll take it.
This isn't the question of the week, but what is the dumbest simulation game that you've played? I am intrigued to know.
My God.
I mean,
I guess the most pointless one is Power Wash Simulator, but it is fun, so
I can understand why that can be so satisfying, like, because cleaning in general when you're in the mood, it's like, yes, get my
Surgeon
steamer
Simulator was
out.
pretty dumb.
I mean, Surgeon Simulator is not actually supposed to
Real
be.
surgery.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be like accurate, is it? But I mean, House Flipper's pretty cool as like a simulator goes. But
I haven't played it, and I've always wanted to.
I've got it. I played it for a little while, but the computer I had it on at the time just couldn't run it. So, and I just haven't gone back to it. I've had it for like a couple of years now. But yeah,
Sounds like it would be a like a mobile game where you have to wait for half an hour for that sofa to be placed in that place, or you can pay real time money to place that sofa straight away.
it was just laggy. My laptop just couldn't handle it. To be fair, but I mean, it was pretty good. But I mean, I haven't played it. Someone has, Minion. She found it, and I like to play my silly kooky games. She found this game called, excuse my language, Chair Fucking Simulator.
Okay.
Actual game on Steam.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, you are this
don't,
weird blobby creature, and you are banging chairs.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is dumb.
Of course
I
she
don't-
found that. Can I just say?
I know.
Of course Minnie found that.
I mean, I like to play silly games, but I kind of looked at that and went, that's a bit too much for me. I don't think I could play that on stream. But yeah, there is. I mean, I think
That
that
does
would
sound
that
like
would
the
be
dumbest
it.
one,
That
yeah.
would be it. I think.
Yeah. And the second game that I played recently, which I actually played on my 12-hour charity stream, is called Sable, which is this absolutely gorgeous exploration puzzle game by Shedworks. It's 3D, but it looks hand-drawn. It's gorgeous. It's so soothing. The puzzles are not hard at all. Like, there's a bit to them. You have to think about them, but they're not hard. But the vast majority of your time in this game is flying around on your like little spaceship glider thing on like really scenic routes. You can just go flying. The music is gorgeous. The scenery is gorgeous. It has day and night cycles, so it just like gradually turns into night, and it's like this. It's gorgeous. I played a bit more of it from what I had on stream, but not great. Like not a great amount of it because I've just been so busy. But I can't wait to go back and play even more of this. It's amazing, and the character design is. As a cosplayer, it's a terrible trait, but a character design for me is at top level when I instantly want to cosplay them, and I want to cosplay the main character in this, because it's the thing where you can change your clothes and you pick up these things called masks, which is like part of the storyline. And you get different masks for doing different things. And for me, I was instantly like, I'm making that character, I'm making those clothes, I'm making that mask.
When you know you've picked a character out to cosplay, you know it's good. You know that game is good.
I had it downloaded to play myself at some point. So
it was. I will say it was on. I don't know if it still is. I haven't checked. It was on Xbox and PC Game Pass. So I got it for free, and I mean, PC Gamer gave this game 93%. Metacritic was slightly lower than that, but that's just the way Metacritic works. It was still 77%, which for an indie game from such a small studio is pretty good.
77's, pretty solid.
Yeah.
For Metacritic, yeah.
It was released this year. It was on pretty much everything as well. But yeah, I would get the game, especially if it's on Game Pass. It's definitely worth no money whatsoever. But I mean, even if it wasn't, it would be worth a good indie game's 15 to 20 quid for sure.
Brainsif. What was it called again?
Sable.
Sable or Fable?
Sable, not Fable.
Not
Sable.
Sable with an
Sable.
S. Sable with an S. Fable
Or
is
Fable with an
very
S.
different.
Hey, I like Fable. Fable's a good game. I enjoy it.
Oh, I work with two of the guys who from Lionhead.
When you say Fable, all I can think about is the comics.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah,
It's different.
It's different. But yeah, it's a really good, chill, interesting game. It actually got a piece of music like specially commissioned as its like main theme tune. It was performed by the artist at the Game Awards earlier this year. It's gorgeous. It's good, and as like it comes when you're transitioning out of like the intro section as you're going into the vast world, the song starts playing, and my god, it's like a hit of like emotion everywhere. It's a beautiful game. It needs
I've
more
just
hype.
pressed install to console on my phone.
Oh,
Done.
there we go.
You're right though, it's like 3D but 2D. Is it 2.5? I'm getting vibes from it.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, getting vibes. I like it.
It is gorgeous. Yeah.
I might talk about that next week then.
Ooh, but yes, that is what we have been playing this week. Now, I am going to ask my co-hosts what they would like to do first, because apparently I'm incapable of actually planning a podcast episode. Do we want to go on to our topic of the week, or do we want to do our news?
I'm fine to do it in the order you wrote down, which is news first.
Yeah.
Actually, it was news second, but
You know what I meant. News came before your topic. Didn't it?
My topic?
No.
You not?
News was last.
Well, I have wrote it down differently, so.
Do news first then.
Okay.
Tempest, you can go first.
Yeah.
Aww.
Aww.
Okay, cokes. Right, so Halloween season is upon us, which means many games get Halloween updates. Now, one such game is Phasmophobia. Yesterday, they had quite a large update, in fact, where they introduced a new medium-sized map, the Maple Lodge campsite, which will be the first outdoors map available on Phasmophobia. It sounds like a lot of the visual details and everything have been superiorly upgraded compared to all the other maps, so they've been working hard to make this look good. Other locations will receive more details and more unique objects at later dates, so they're going to start upgrading all the other locations as well. And they did say that there will be a mini map added to the truck for the campsite, because it's obviously not necessarily a house. So they have a house map layout in the truck, but this is more like a base area for you to look around. All the difficulties have received a major overhaul, as well as introducing a new nightmare difficulty, which we'll go into more detail to in a minute, because I know now we'll watch someone play it. And each time you start a contract now, the location will have different weather, adding new layers of gameplay and making each contract feel unique. Changing temperature will make finding the ghost location more difficult. Rain or wind will impair your hearing, and a thick fog will reduce visibility. So they're making it feel like every time you play it, so like it's not just the same house, same environment every time. There's going to be changes, and I like that.
And if you're outside too, and it's like a rainy night outside, if you got an outside campsite, that's going to make things a lot more difficult, I would imagine.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's like kind of rain on a window that can be a little bit impairing, but if you're actually in a rainstorm outside, that's very impairing.
This is true. The Ouija board has had a rework. So you're trading sanity for information and are penalised less if you don't get a response, compared to last, like usually where they just rip the sanity out of you. And
That's sanity in the first place.
I mean,
what?
Would you have sanity doing that as a living?
I was going to say, we're ghost hunters. There's no sanity.
Yeah.
You know what? And this is why I'm insane, because I would love to be a ghost hunter.
Example.
But finally added to it are 4 more new ghosts. The Onryu, I apologise if I butcher any of these names, the twins, That one was terrible. I can't believe that was English.
That was that was the worst pronunciation I've ever heard. Tempest, you should be ashamed.
I'm going to read this one as the Obake, maybe? Obake. Kate? Oh my god. Obake. Jesus. And the Raiju. But that is like the update in a nutshell. But obviously there's a lot more finer details to it.
Yes, it's yeah, including nightmare difficulty. I can't get over the nightmare difficulty.
Is it a nightmare?
So they've pretty much taken every single hiding place away. It can hunt you just straight away no matter what happens, and it also damages 2 pieces of your equipment, so you can't use them, and it will not tell you the last piece of evidence. You have to guess it, or use your logic brain.
If you
I don't have one of those.
Well,
if you get killed on the hunt, it will continue the hunt. So normally, if it killed someone, it will stop. But in nightmare mode, it will hunt and then carry on hunting.
Just keep going.
So, I'm never playing it.
Yes. I am not ashamed to say I am not good enough at the game to be able to do that.
Thing is, I'd give it a go, but I know full well I'd die within about 10 seconds of going into the place. So, I mean, I like the idea of it, and for like maybe professional players, because there are people out there.
Yeah, who are on like 5,000 or 6,000. For those people, yes, absolutely, because they need something to give them a bit of like edge, so that they're not just complicitly just like, whatever, I'm just gonna hide in this closet because I know it's gonna be fine.
Or you just go in as a first-time player and shit yourself.
Can you imagine doing that first time?
Oh, I couldn't even do the freaking training level when it was my first time. That's how bad I was.
If you do it, you're going to have to stream it so you can watch it.
Yeah.
Because literally...
Unnamed gaming podcast does Phasmophobia nightmare level.
That's it. My first comment will be me laughing at you dying in about 2 minutes.
I give myself 30 seconds.
I was going to say 2 minutes is generous. I don't think even a weed lasts that
long. I can run.
I'm excited for it. But the thought of some of the changes is actually making me freak out about it.
I mean, nightmare mode is just awful to just think about. 4 new ghosts are nice, but
I'm not going anywhere near those twins. If we find out it's twins, I am never going in that property ever again.
Oh, are they going to overtake Revenant for you, are they?
Absolutely. And Hull, because she hates kids. Kid ghosts.
Yeah. The only thing that I get with it is I get they're adding more ghosts and stuff, but they're all kind of like these generic looking ghosts at the moment. So none of them have their own identity.
No.
But then I guess if I get why, because obviously so for example, the Revenant looked a certain way, when you see it turn up, you'd know, oh, that's a Revenant, without even needing evidence and stuff. I get why they've done it. But I think that's one of the things I liked about Ghost Hunter Core, was the fact that the different ghost types kind of had their aesthetic.
Not that we ever actually,
No, I mean the thing is, I'm always going to play Phas over any of the others, I think. So, and I think that's just because it was kind of the first one of its type. We say this every time, but the first one of this type, and we spent so long playing it. We just enjoy it too much.
Yeah, and for all its failings, it has done a lot very well. And it is now getting updates so often that it's keeping it alive and interesting.
Yeah. I think that's what helps, is the fact that he's actually taken on other people to help him with it now. And you're starting to see, I think, what he wanted it to be from the start. And I think it was a lot of work for one person to take on. But I mean, he did a good job. I'm not taking it away from you. I could never have done anything like that, but
Yeah,
there's that
but no,
anyway. So
it's yeah, good. It looks like it's going to be a good update from what I've seen. Even like the people who play this all the time were terrified. So
it should be good. But yes,
good.
that's my news.
Wonderful, Bendy, darling,
Right.
Bendy. Tell me your news. Tell us now.
Well, what? You know how I don't play PC games all that often
Indeed.
because it's I have to learn how to use a mouse and keyboard, which fuck that, right? Well, something's just changed. You might be able to play some Steam games on your Xbox. How cool is
What?
that?
Amazing.
So you can now play PC games for Xbox with the new NVIDIA GeForce Now. So they've taken away the block on Edge, so you'll be able to use your Steam library on your Xbox.
That is incredible.
So it's reportedly at the moment games that it can be a bit finicky with games that use mouse and keyboard because they are designed to make mouse and keyboard, but you can actually use a mouse and keyboard on your Xbox, so you could counteract that issue by using a mouse and keyboard on your Xbox. But yeah, so I might be able to play some really dumb games like Tempest does, and I just thought that was really good because every time we talk about stuff, I then go, exactly. I could play Phasmophobia on Nightmare Mode for the first time and die within 30 seconds.
I think Phas has actually got controller compatibility as well.
Yeah, it is actually controller. Yeah, you can.
So I might. Oh, and now I've got a list of how you actually do it, which I won't go into. But yeah, so it's a new. Essentially, GeForce it's a service that you can use, which can be free, it can be premium from the looks of things, and you'll be able to use your Steam library on your Xbox, which is really good for me because I don't want to have to use the other half's PC because otherwise he can't play it. And then I could just, because there's so many Steam games that I miss out on.
Yeah.
Because I don't use PC all that often. And I'm loving it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it and I'm going to play Phas.
Excellent.
That's interesting. And I say it's interesting because I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say the vast majority of people who play on consoles like Xbox will probably play them on their TV. Now, most games for Steam are not made for TV resolutions. They are made for your average monitor. And I'm wondering how bad some of these games are going to look on your TV because they're going to be stretched to fuck.
They're going to look shit. But I don't care. I can sit on my sofa and play it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's great. And going forward, now games studios will start thinking about this so that they can, when they're uploading to Steam, they'll know that they actually might be being played on their Xbox. But there are going to be a lot of older games that people are going to be like, oh, this isn't running right. And it's like, yeah, because it wasn't made for this system.
There's now also the benefit of the people that do have home consoles in their bedrooms, like younger kids that can't buy massive PC rigs or whatever, who can now then play Steam games on their Xboxes. Yeah, it's great accessibility,
and I knew it was going to happen because
it just shows
between things have to come down now. There's no need for this massive barrier between consoles and everything. Everything should be able to be played on everything.
Yes, it's there seems to be a lot in gaming now, which is leaning towards more accessibility for everybody to play whatever they want. Yeah. And I, for one, am loving that because there are such a wide array of people that are in this community of gaming, and you should be able to play how you like, when you like, and what you like. And they're just bringing down those walls of accessibility for those who don't have as much money as others and want to play these games that will need a big PC rig or whatever. And it's nice. It's a nice thing.
Yeah, it's good. It's
Good
just going to
working
make
with
everything so much easier.
It's quite interesting though as well, because Steam obviously have just announced their own kind of like portable gaming system, haven't they?
The Steam Deck.
Steam Deck, yeah.
Steam
Yeah.
Deck, yes.
So I mean, obviously, I don't know if they're how powerful this is going to be, because it's like a handheld system, isn't it? But it's it's quite funny that they've made it accessible to Xboxes, as you say, as they're releasing this as well.
Yeah.
Well, there's probably some background information that we haven't got there about some technology that maybe was shared.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's good that they would kind of open up these windows or doors to being able to share a lot of these products, because I'm not being funny. You think about it. Xbox have got Game Pass, which is available on both console and PC. So it's not like the crossover isn't there and compatible already, you know? They've already got the system in the works. So for them to then go, well, we could probably get Steam games working on here too.
And then Microsoft might get a revenue of amount of what's bought through through an Xbox, which is good money practice. It's good business practices, not great because it feels like a monopoly, but still, it's they are. When you get down to the nitty gritty of it, is how they can make the most money, but also it's actually giving people accessibility, and that's what I kind of want to focus on.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's as well. It's like you think about it, if they go that way and like they kind of share this thing, not only do Xbox players get access to Steam games and things like that, but you think about all those Xbox exclusive games that could then be shared onto Steam. So they're not necessarily Xbox exclusive anymore. And you'll get more players playing it through Steam as well. Like if that partnership took hold.
Just imagine if you had then Steam Game Pass.
Oh, mate.
And then
the amount of simulators I could play.
Exactly. Am I right? I mean, it'd probably be an extra £2 a month to get like ultimate Game Pass, which includes Steam. But I would do it for the dumb simulator games.
Absolutely.
I think that's very good news. Very good
Excellent
news.
news all around for gamers of all kinds, apart from PlayStation.
Don't knock them; they're fine. You're fine,
Before
PlayStation
we get
guys.
into a battle royale of consoles,
We love you here too.
Yes,
we love you here
do.
too. We love everybody who plays anything. Keys.
Keys.
I own everything, so
yeah, me too.
I don't, but that's because
I'm very neutral ground. I'm Switzerland.
We are Switzerland here, so really I have no problem with anybody. Do game as you will, as much as you want.
You will, and with that, I shall go on to my news, which I also know that a certain someone is also very excited about this news.
I don't know who that could be.
I don't know who it could be. So,
me.
Fans of... No, it's not... Well, it could be you, Bandy. I don't know. It could be.
We'll find out in a minute.
Well, if you let me talk, I will. Fans of Stardew Valley. We all love it. It's been going for a long time, and recently, well, I say recently, it was last summer, got an update to it. Wow. Concerned Ape, who are the developer... I was going to say developers, then it's not. It's just developer. It's one person. Came out last week with news that they are working on a brand new game. It's called the Haunted Chocolatier. So excited.
Okay, wait, let me just check I heard that right, because my brain doesn't work anymore. The Haunted Chocolatier.
Yes. So
I
you are
love
very much...
everything about this.
Exactly. You are much like Stardew Valley. You're one person, and you own this chocolatier, or you inherit this chocolatier, like this.
You're
chocolate
Willy
factory.
Wonka.
You're Willy Wonka.
You're
And
Willy
then,
Wonka.
by the looks of it, you soon find out that the castle that you make the chocolate in is haunted, and it's going to be. It's not. There's not a lot of fleshing out yet because it's been like brand new released. But it aesthetically looks very similar to Stardew Valley, but the graphics are better. You can tell the graphics are better. There's much more detail in there. It looks bigger. There looks like there's a lot more like going on for it. You have some fighting elements, and I know we have them in Stardew Valley, but it does tend to be just kind of your sword in the mines, or in one of the fighting areas. But you look like you have a bow and arrow in this, like bows and arrows, so that's cool. A lot of it looks like I don't know if it's got like the weather change thing. A lot of it looks like it's set in some kind of snowy village, and I don't know whether that's just around your castle. It looks amazing though, and you know how much I love snow. But yeah,
I am
mean,
looking at pictures now.
I know, right? It looks fantastic. Like I said, not a great deal of information about it. It's not going to be out for a little while. Like, I don't even think it's next year. I can't remember what he said exactly. He has put a blog post about it, but very excited. It looks like it's going to be fantastic. It looks like it's going to have a decent story to it as well. It's Stardew Valley, but like it's set in a different place. I mean, if you love Stardew Valley, what more do you want from that?
Nettle, I'm just looking at one picture here, and there's people buying chocolate from ghosts. I love it. I want it now. Give it to me.
Isn't it? And like you have to. It looks like you're going to have to learn how to make certain types of chocolate as well. So there is some cooking elements to it, which is interesting.
Okay, I'm excited.
Just fantastic. The fact that he's like come out and said it now, he's definitely working on a new game is just brilliant. Because as much as everybody will get annoyed with me for saying it, Stardew Valley does have a life cycle, whether you like it or not. All right, you can play it as many times as you want, but after the 5th or 6th time, you're still playing the same game. And as fun as it is to play, to relax, it gets old at that point. It gets stale. So, a new game around about the same like look and like genre. Perfect. Can't wait. So excited.
I mean, with regards to Stardew, he's done a lot over the years to keep it going. Like he's added so much content to it. So, like, there's a lot of games like that pretty much don't bother with that, and people just kind of give up with it. But he's made it so that even if you complete, like I did the first time I did it to the end, and that was it. There was nothing left for me to do.
Yeah.
And now coming kind of back to it, I'm like, there's so much stuff I don't know about anymore. And I'd get the impression that there's going to be a lot of content with the Haunted Chocolatier.
Does look like that.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to keep you going for a very long time, and I'm kind of excited with that. Again, the only thing that I was a little upset about was the fact that I was like, multiplayer?
Yeah.
Because obviously they've added that to Stardew now, but
it does look like there isn't going to be multiplayer for it.
Which is sad.
Whether there is a reason for that is, something. Whether, again, they decide to bring it in because too many people complain that they want to be able to play this with other people is another thing. But that is one thing we are certain of. He has said it's not going to be multiplayer for now.
If it's so early in development, he may change his mind.
Absolutely.
About that. When
multiplayer is actually one of those things that kind of can be changed. Unless
they want just a self-contained story, if that's the way that they want it.
obviously in Stardew Valley, you're making your farm. You're making it. It doesn't matter if somebody comes along and like starts helping you with that, but there may be a reason why the story, for example, will just not make sense if there's more than one person there.
Well, yeah, if
So-
you're if they're going for a creepier element with the haunted side of it, I guess if you're gonna be less scary walking around your chocolate factory if you're with somebody else. I don't know.
yeah.
It looks great.
He has said it's in the same universe as Stardew Valley as well. So
Oh, crossover characters. Can't wait to see a grown-up Vincent and Jazz.
no,
No,
the children must always remain children.
I mean, like you said, he's really done something with the graphics here. He's obviously learned a lot from his time on Stardew and things like that, and you can tell just from the initial look of it that it's his game.
Yes.
Because like the dialogue boxes and all that kind of thing, and like even the little pictures of the characters, you could see even if you didn't know it was Concerned Ape, and someone went, "What do you think of this?" They'd go, "That's Stardew Valley."
Yeah.
Because he's keeping that same aesthetic to it, and I like that. And like you said, if it's supposed to be in the same universe, it makes sense that it's got that to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It almost feels like a sequel kind of thing to Stardew, but like, not on a farm.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is even possible, but this is where my brain goes. Like, you've played Stardew, and then you start playing Haunted Chocolatier, and you go, oh, actually, I feel like my guy here needs some eggs from this farm, and you can go to your own farm to get some eggs or something.
It would
I
be
don't know.
very cool. It would be very cool.
Because you've got like both installed on the same place. Like,
yeah, like
I like-
with things like Mass Effect, wherever, if you've had the previous game installed on the console, it would download all your like character traits from the first game,
Yeah.
or the second game into the third one, so that all those things were already there, so it knew about what you'd done already. I imagine that it just downloads your content from Stardew Valley. They're like, oh, you've got Tempest Bee's farm. It delivers the eggs and the milk.
The start of the game is you actually getting a phone call going, your great uncle's died. You've inherited a chocolate mansion. Come see us now. And you're in like your farm. And you're like,
oh my god.
You have to hire someone to keep your farm going. And just be like, you deal with this. I'm gonna go check out this mansion. It's like you have to stay here at night because otherwise you don't inherit it. Those usual stories. The catches you need to stay within its walls, that sort of thing. But you're your actual Stardew Valley character. Why don't you call me Concerned Ape? I have ideas.
I love it.
But yes, that is the news which Tempest and I are very excited about, and I'm sure we will be tweeting about it.
Yes.
As soon as all the news starts coming out from it. It'll be all over our Twitter.
I can guarantee we'll both be streaming it at some point.
Absolutely.
Maybe when it comes out, I might stream it too.
What if? Oh, see, we could just do like a one person playing it, but all three of us sitting in the Discord talking about it.
Like a talk along.
That's it.
Oh, a watch party, a play party.
Play party.
Yeah.
Watch this space. Play party's coming.
Hilarious.
When this game comes out in 5 years.
Yeah. And we'll have forgotten about it.
Yeah. Wonderful.
But seriously, Concerned Ape. Cool.
Yes, Concerned Ape. Cool, Bendy. You've been bendied. Okay. Yes, that was our news for the week, and it was some exciting news all around, in my opinion. And let's face it, it's the most important opinion. The most opinionated opinion ever.
Yes, General.
Yes, exactly. You know your place. Cool. So let's go on to our section of let's ask a really weird and mundane question for the week. And my question for everybody this week, bit an emotional one. What is your most emotional game you've ever played? Who wants to go first?
I can go first if you like.
You're first. Do it.
Right. Okay. See, now when you first posed this question, I instantly went, I don't know.
Well, that was the whole point. You're meant to think.
I know. But like in my head, I was like, you put emotional, and the first thing I thought of was like, what game do I know of that's made me like tear up or something like that? And I just couldn't for the life of me think of anything. And then as I was sitting, I was like, well, emotional doesn't necessarily have to mean I cried over a game or something like that. It's like the way I looked at it, it was like a game that just constantly made me go wow, and like took my breath away. Like no matter how many times I loaded it up or whatever like that, it just every time I went into it, something just made me go, well, that's fantastic. And I think I'm gonna really please another member of the podcast by saying that's Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
So, I bow down to you. It's a good one. It's a good one.
I mean, just that initial when you first come out of the cave and it kind of walks you up to the edge of the cliff and shows you the vast world that you're going to be running along, and it was just so clear and colourful and everything to look at. I was like, fuck me, what a view. And like, again, language, I'm sorry. It's emotional times.
Sorry, YouTube.
Yeah.
Sorry, YouTube.
But like, yeah, and it's like every time I went in it, I'd see something, like it'd be a view, or there'd be this little Easter egg, or just something. Like I can tell you now, hands down, it was some of the best sound. Like even just like birds or crickets or whatever as you're walking along, some of the best sound work in a game I've ever heard. And every time I was just the amount of times on stream, I probably said it every time I streamed it without fail. I'd say the sound is just fantastic in this game.
When there is, I absolutely get what you mean. When it's night and it's clear and you're in an open field and you've got that little, and then the wind just like blows past you.
Yeah.
And if you've got headphones on or a surround sound, like I played it quite a lot with my surround sound, it's just like it gives you that, as you said, that emotional reaction. Like, oh, I can feel where I am,
Yeah,
even though I'm not actually in this world. And that's some great sound design.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Without fail, it's like it was just it's the tiniest little details, and I think that's what got me. It's like I can hear this like silly little trickle from a brook, like wherever, like away in like this quiet little thing, and I'm like, it was. I know it sounds silly, like, but like that kind of thing. It was just amazing me how much effort and like how well they pulled it off, pulling that game together like that, just to make it look and sound as good as it did. It was pretty much like a perfect representation of it if it was me running around and it was the sounds that I'd be hearing.
Yeah, immersion in a game is just it. You can't really make a game like Zelda or a lot of like proper, open worldish games without having immersion now. If you're not immersed, it just instantly loses something.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. Like I said, there is probably something out there that kind of made me tear up at like the game ending or something like that or whatever. But it just nothing came to mind, and I don't know if that's just because nothing's done anything recently. And then, no, as I said, I was just thinking it over, and I was like, you know what? Every time I put Breath of the Wild on, I was just taken aback by how good it was and how beautiful it is. And I think that's kind of where I'm running with this. So, but that's me. That's mine.
I find in general, the sound designs for Zelda games are just, and I know it is my favorite game series of all time, but can I be objective? Yes, I can be objective because there are some that I like more than others and stuff, but the general sound design for all of those games is brilliant, and I think that's what makes them. And they went all out for Breath of the Wild, so I totally know where you're coming from. And it gives you like a visceral reaction to just hearing those kinds of noises. There's a bit where you're quite close to like a snowy area, and it's like a ridge, and then one of the dragons flies through that ridge.
Yeah.
And if you're at night, and because it comes at like 3 a.m. or whatever, we're standing there and just hearing like the sound of that dragon coming past. It's like it hits you. It hits you in the feels, man. Good.
Thinking back on like this, because even the story was just at times like I think like without spoiling it for people that haven't played it and things like that, but like I think I'm just going to say Mifa.
Oh man,
yeah.
Don't.
Oh, she knows.
Yeah. So that I'll just say that like just her was just like I was like sad like all the time.
The cutscene that when your first memory of Mifa, I've listened to that quite a few times because I've done a performance to it, so I've learnt it, and it still gets me. Just the last like 4 words that she says is just like, and when you're trying to perform it, you're like, don't cry, don't do it, don't you do it,
don't you dare,
don't you dare. I've got so much makeup on right now. Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree with all of what you have said.
Excellent. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I want to go play Breath of the Wild now.
Oh, well, you can't because you got to tell us what your most emotional game you've ever played with.
So I have gone with like a story point. So I had to go through my sort of game library to see what I've played and see what really got me. I would like to give a few little mentions, and this is spoiler alerts if you're going forward, like sad things that have happened in games that got me. I'm gonna tell you now. There's gonna be some spoilers. Sorry. Tales from the Borderlands, when Scooter dies.
I was hoping you weren't gonna mention that.
I'll give it. It's not a sad game overall. It's a really good game, but there's just that.
No, that is totally...
that impact of that scene that really gets me. Really gets me every time.
Rest in peace, Scooter.
Rip. The Mifa scene that you just mentioned. That's one of mine as well. But I think a game that I guess has been the most emotional all the way through is probably Life is Strange.
Okay.
There's a scene in Life is Strange right near the end, and if you guys played it,
I have not. No.
I don't know if I want to spoil it for you, but there's like a big climactic scene at the end of it where they find something, and just like the breakdown of one of the characters, just because it's quite real. Like those other scenes, you can probably think like this is a fish lady and this is a man in space. Like, yes, they are sad, but the situation that I don't really want to spoil too much, because if you haven't played Life is Strange, I've played Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm. They are both great games, and I would highly recommend playing them because they are really good. But the situation that is happening and all of the different situations throughout Life is Strange are really real. Like, there's so much to connect to. There's there's a scene like it's set in like a college and stuff, and there's scenes of like bullying and what the effect of bullying has on people, and it's very real, even though it has like a very supernatural element to it, like how the game actually works.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that, because all the other games that I play are very much like real time fantasy, and yes, you've got really, really sad bits of real time fantasy, but this genuinely could happen. The situation that happens in Life is Strange, and if you've played it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. In the the dump area, that scene there cut me. And I'm not one for, I don't really cry at movies. I don't really get, because I have that suspension of disbelief quite easy when it comes to movies. But I did tear up a bit at various different parts of that game, which is very unlike me because I have a heart as black as Carl. So, but yeah, the Life is Strange, they tell an absolutely fantastic story, and I do want to get True Colors as well, to see if that will do the same to me. And now I want to go and play Life is Strange again.
Benny just wants to play everything after this.
Everything that's mentioned, she just wants to go play.
Yeah, but what I'm going to do is play Animal Crossing. So, because I haven't got my fossils for today. Animal Crossing, the most emotional game I've ever played. Emotional as in it gives me anger, because where is that last fossil? I've been around my island 18 times. Where are you?
You know, actually, carrying on from what I was talking about last week, I actually paid off one of my debts today and started my last one. It's 2.5 mil.
Oh, 2.5 mil. I just paid off. I started afresh, and I just paid off my first mortgage today.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Yeah, and now I'm going to expand because I have no self-control.
Oh no, I get the next one straight away.
Yep.
I need that basement.
Because they turn it into a murder basement.
I'm just going to talk over the top of them.
That's all. What makes you emotional? What makes you emotional?
So, everything makes me emotional because, unlike Bendy, I literally cry at everything. I mean, literally, I cry at the old lady in 24 hours in A&E. But I did have a think about this for a long time. There is a lot of games that hold an emotional spot in my heart. The Witcher 3 is a great version. There are two very distinct points that made me cry. And if you've played The Witcher 3, you will know what I'm talking about and which ones they are. And I started debating what I wanted to be like my top. And I had decided it until somebody mentioned it earlier on in the podcast and said that they were currently playing it.
What Remains of Edith Finch?
Remains of Edith Finch is one of the most emotional games that I have ever played. But I can't talk to you about that because it will be a gigantic spoiler to Bendy. So instead, I will talk about my backup, which is going to make some people scratch their heads and go, what the F is wrong with you? Destiny franchise. Bear with me. Don't lose me from there.
I feel like I already know what bit you're going to talk about.
There at least one of them. There are a lot of emotional parts in all of the Destiny franchise. I'm most emotional. Sorry?
I'm very intrigued. Carry on.
The most emotional one that I can remember that really sticks out, which every single Destiny 2 player ever will just say it was a horrific moment to watch and have to deal with, was the death of Kade 6. Forsaken. The point where he pulls his hood up over his head, looks at his gun, and says, "I'm coming home, Ace," is so heartbreaking if you know the lore. Ace of Spades is his gun. He named it after his supposed son from when he was alive. as a human being. So him saying to his gun, "I'm coming home, Ace," means I'm coming to see you again. Because he knows he's dying.
Oh, the feels. I remember
Exactly!
playing it. I've only just got into Destiny like 2, like doing everything, and like literally that's kind of where I am at the minute. I played through that bit, and then like it happened, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
But Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
And
It's and all the bits that come afterwards, and literally throughout the entire Destiny community throughout that campaign, they just had one goal, and that was to kill Aldrin Sov. He was number one enemy. I have never known a community band together to hate somebody that much. It was the emotions throughout that entire campaign were just gloriously. Oh my god!
But does that not just show how good that writing was?
Yes,
Then,
Forsaken is one of the best, like, written, playing, everything. Everybody will say this. It is an emotional campaign. It will get you, especially like older players who have been there from the start or near enough the start.
I don't think you should have like apologized for having that feels, because yeah, people see it as this looter shooter, but it does have so much lore behind it. So much lore.
Story. I mean, you've got there's a particular, like, so in the base campaign for Destiny 2, and this strike is no longer here. You're going down into Titan to stop the Hive from doing their magic and like trying to transport Savathun, ironically, to where you are. And you're talking to another Guardian down there who went down with us as a team of 9, which, you know, everybody always takes the mick out of. But she went down there, and you find out, like, you keep finding these purple crystals, and then all of a sudden, like, you click, the lore comes into place, and you realize these crystals are Guardians. The Hive have transformed them into these crystals for their thing, and you're going down and, like, you know, deeper into the depths of the building that you're in, and it's like all hope is lost. And then the Guardian that you've been speaking to this entire strike goes, "Actually, I've come up with a plan." And it's just like, they're like, "But there are no more crystals left. We can't do this plan." And she's like, "Well, there is one more crystal," and she kills herself. She transforms into this, like, she lets herself be transformed into this crystal so that you can stop this Hive god from coming. And it's like, oh my god, I've spent the last, 15 minutes talking to this woman, getting to, like, know what she's like and being all funny, and then all of a sudden she's dead. And then it's like, it's very, when you do that strike a lot, you sit there, it's like, okay, but when you think about it, you're like, okay, that's traumatizing on every level, And it's not only just the storylines, there's bits of Destiny where, much like Breath of the Wild, the immersion is just there. The music they use for, in particular, raids, within the storylines for raids, is incredible. Like, you've got Regicide in The Taken King, which is like this colossal, like, brass instruments just coming at you, and it gives you the chills. And then you've got The Last Wish, Riven's Walk, where it's not Riven's Walk, it's Queen's Walk. I got that wrong. Don't take it out for that. It's like you drop when you've got to a particular level of the raid, and you don't, like, when you don't know the raid, it's amazing. This bit is, you go and stand on these, like, little, like, circle things that are all glowing, and once everybody stood on them, they all unlock, and you drop down, and all of a sudden there's this massive dragon in front of you, and you're like, fuck. The first time you see that is incredible. And then again recently, like, Deepstone Crypt, where you're jumping around on a space station, and you've done all the bits that you need to do on the space station, and all of a sudden all of you and your team come to this one door, and it opens, and you're in space, and you're jumping around in space to the most beautiful music, to the point where, when I was watching the person who was, like, doing a world's first race, which is something we have in Destiny, everybody in chat just shut up, and nobody was talking. They were just listening to this music as these Guardians were jumping around in space. And it still, that particular piece of music still to this day makes me cry. It's beautiful. But it's things like that, and like I have so many reaction videos to like cutscenes in Destiny. It's like the emotion that these things give to you when you've been playing for so long, or even when you haven't, and you're just coming across it and you're like, what the fuck? It's incredible. Like the visuals and the immersion of Destiny. I mean, you can complain about its gunplay and all of that crap as much as you want, but the immersion and the way like the music and the storyline makes you feel, I don't think there's another game that could really top it for me.
Let's do 2 shout outs for 2 amazing sound designers that we have spoken about. Japanese names, I'm really sorry. Hajime Wataki and Danielle Kali, the sound designers for Breath of the Wild and Destiny 2. Good on you guys.
Amazing
job.
GGs.
Good. Yeah, GG to you. You have 2 amazing games with 2 amazing sound designs, and
With the way Nettle was talking there about Destiny and everything, and I'm surprised it didn't come to my mind, because I actually sat and watched through them all this past week. There is actually something that makes me tear up every time I watch it. Like, not necessarily every one, but there are certain ones, and I don't know why, they just get me emotional. But it's the Overwatch animated shorts.
yeah.
And I don't know if that's just because I love Overwatch so much, whatever, but I don't know why it didn't come to me either. But like, obviously, this is just a little thing. I watched them this week, and I just can't help, like, some of them I'm just like, oh my god, it's so good. And I just wish there was more, and like maybe even a TV series or a film or something that I could sit and cry at. I mean, watch. But yeah, I thought I'd just add that in at the end.
Yeah.
I'm going to add another bendy aside because I always do. I'm going to give a shout out for pure emotion to one of my campaigns of D&D, which has actually genuinely made me cry. Literally, the story has been so good that I've been genuinely in tears.
Oh, see, that's a good role play. That
it's the emotion to this particular situation that happened, and trying to talk my way of what was happening. I was actually felt like I was that character, and I was genuinely not fake, real tears. I will have you know, crying as this character. So you may think me sad, but it was
that's investment into a character and a story. You can't.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's immersion. You've immersed yourself in that character and that story, and that's what makes a great game.
And I think
whether
that's what
tabletop or video.
The way that you were so passionately talking about Destiny there just shows in itself. Even if you're not a Destiny player, you can tell that it means so much to you, and it means so much to you because of that emotion behind it and passion.
You care about, there's an awful lot of characters and there's an awful lot of scenarios in Destiny that you care about. For example, spoiler alert, Uldren Sov, who I said we were all trying to kill, recently came back as a guardian. Now you can tell everybody, it literally divided. This entire community that was happy to be together to go after this character split right in half. And we're like, half of them were like, I can't believe you brought him back. He killed K6. We hate him. The other people going, he's a guardian. He doesn't remember who he is. You have to pretend, have to like realize that he's a completely different person now. And it was the emotion of between people who were going, yeah, I'm using my brain. That person doesn't remember who they are. They can't be the same person, to the other people going, I can see his face. He is the same face as the person that killed our beloved Vanguard. So, yeah. And that debate still goes on today, by the way. It will crop up every so often on Twitter. It's hilarious. But yeah, it's emotional. Like, games that give you a good storyline are always automatically going to get better like reaction than a game that's really visually great and has wonderful like battle components but gives you no story whatsoever.
Like just as an example, the Battlefield games and Call of Duty games, they are arguably good games and they are visually stunning and all of this, but they don't give you as much in-depth story as, say, a Destiny can, or a Breath of the Wild can, or a Life is Strange can. So you can get the second hand. Oh, sorry, carry on. I was just going to say, we podcast. I'm going to go. You go.
Okay, I've never played other than Warzone, which obviously doesn't necessarily have a actual storyline. It kind of does and it kind of doesn't, and it's quite confusing. Time travel hashtag. But like the other Call of Duty games, they do have a storyline behind them, but they're very much just like, okay, well, now you're going to fight a load of people in this place, and then that's going to take you to a cutscene, which is then going to take you to this place, and then there's going to be a cutscene that takes you to this place, and it's like, okay, very linear, I get it. Battlefield I've never played, so I have absolutely no idea about that. But it's like, I like...
Sorry, Karen. You go. You haven't finished.
I like the storyline, and I don't want it to just be, okay, well, this in here, and then this is here, and then this is here. It has to be like, okay, but if we're over there, and then that happens, and oh my god, what's going to do if we do this? That's it.
I guess I'm going to play my own devil's advocate of, I guess, like, levels like No Russian in Call of Duty could be quite emotional, because if you know that particular level, I just mean for when they don't have their campaigns, but they can give some emotion to some people. I just think you need more of a in-depth story, like actual story, not like 3-hour experience. That could be better, because you could have a like proper emotional war. I mean, most war games, they just don't put that much effort in. Sorry, I'm probably going to get shouted out there by prove me wrong. I'm not mean.
Put it in the comments, guys. Put it in the comments.
Yes.
We live for interaction.
We love it.
Yay! We can all be clear that it was sound and story, the two S's that make emotional games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Now I'm just thinking about sad parts of Breath of the Wild, because that the bit where the other just the memories in general are all pretty sad, but the last Zelda memory you get.
I need to play that game again.
Yes, me too.
I think we should end this section before we all start blubbing.
I know, it's going to be teary. Well, that is the end. That's just the end. That's the end, guys. Sorry.
The end?
This is the end.
Oh,
Parting
just...
is such sweet sorrow and all that.
You've given me this trauma of thinking about emotional games, and now you're just throwing me into the wild. Thank you. Thanks. I'm gonna get cried out.
You're welcome.
Left to our own devices.
The Unnamed Army, everybody who's listening, tell us what your emotional game was. Because we love to know. You never know. You may give us a game that we've never played and we're all going to cry like babies when we play it. Or get angry or whatever.
Yes, emotion doesn't necessarily mean to be crying.
No. Anger, hatred. Like, have you had a character that you just really hate so much that you want them to go away?
I definitely do, and I'm not going to mention it on this podcast because I'm probably going to bring that as a question at some point. So,
yes.
Tell us. Also, why not? You know, we put out a tweet the other day, but just give us questions to talk about.
Just get involved.
What do you want? Get involved.
Give us questions. Also, guys, if you would like to be a guest on our podcast, please leave a comment. Get in touch with us on Twitter or any of our, social media sites. We are looking for guests. We want to talk to you people about the games that you love to play and all other manning of gaming things. Because you guys are more interesting than us, let's face it.
Yeah. No doubt.
Undeniable.
Absolutely not. You might actually know what you're talking about. Because I certainly don't.
No, we don't. Just rambling.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yes. But yes, we'll be back next week with more.
We will be back next week with more, yes. So, guys, where can we find you? Bendy, where can we find you?
I'm on the everythings all over the place. As Bendy Ben's costuming. If you've wondered why it's costuming, it's because I make costumes. But I also like games, so
It is
everywhere.
She dabbles.
I dabble.
She dabbles.
Mhm.
Also, just to point, this is also kind of me and Bendy, but Bendy and I will be at Birmingham MCN in a couple of weeks' time. I'm just letting everybody know now, just in case. If anybody's there, do say hello.
Yeah,
selfie.
you don't know what we look like, but maybe we'll put up a picture of our actual faces.
Maybe you'll just have to go around asking people if we're the.
Are you Bendy and Nettle?
Just start shouting unnamed army around the place, and they'll come
See
running.
who turns up.
I know.
I mean, security might also turn up, but
it's fine. Tempest, where can we find you?
you can find me on all of the social medias under Tempest B, all one word. Simple
And
as.
simples. I have been Nettle Creates, and you can find me on all the social medias as Nettle Creates. That's it.
Links are always in the thing. We're
Bingo.
everywhere on our podcast too.
Everywhere. We're like a parasite. You will never ever get rid of us.
But links will be below on everything, so we're easily accessible.
You can find us on all of the usual Spotify's, all of the usual podcast and listening apps and YouTube, and we are on Twitter and TikTok. I can't talk anymore, guys.
Also, if you do want to see our faces, tweet us. Comment. Say we want to see your faces.
Yeah.
Are you intrigued?
I mean,
To
I
see
don't
what we look
particularly
like?
hide mine on stream, but I can still show you it again.
Maybe we don't want to see your face. Maybe we want to see a different
Maybe
face
it's-
of yours.
What?
Yeah, let's.
Excuse me. This is a PG podcast. It's not.
Is it
This is
fine?
no way near a
Six
PG
times.
podcast. This has been the most sweary episode we've done.
This is episode the 6th, the Swearening.
That's it.
What the
It was an emotional week.
Episode 6, the swearing. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what it is now.
Right, I'm ending this now before it goes too far. Thank you so much for listening, and we will hopefully catch you next week. Woo!
Woo.
Bye, everybody.
We love you. Bye.